Okay, how does ShhpeakUp work for you? Let's answer that, and we'll do that in two parts again, two different videos. The first one will answer how it works, and then the follow-up, what you get. These are going to be the important left brain logistics. We'll get those out of the way, and then we'll get back to the right brain storytelling videos that I enjoy so much more. But these are very important. Prompts through the selection process. Prompts are going to be daily suggested topics or questions that you are going to be responding to in a video form. You'll post it to the community group, then all of us are going to watch, comment, and learn from each other on these. The duration. These are going to be 30-day meetups, ShhpeakUps, and every single day you will be having one video prompt and one video reply that you will give to this prompt. Now, I've thought about this a lot in terms of both extroverts and introverts. I tend to be one of each. So for extroverts, if you want to think about how we're going to progress, I've created a very simple equation for you. It really boils down to just starting off day one with 2 minutes for your video reply. Then every single day after that, you're going to add 2 more minutes to the previous day. By the end of the 30 days, that means that you're going to get to a whole hour of speaking on day 30. Now, if you're an introvert, this may sound like quite an ordeal and an uncomfortable one at that. So start off with 1 minute on day 1. And then as long as every day after that you add a little bit more, I'll leave that up to you on how you want to handle that. But the point is to try to push yourself to speak a little bit more than the previous day. However, knowing that in the end, on day 30, you still too will be encouraged, lovingly encouraged to speak for a whole hour. And the reason for the whole hour, we'll tease out more details about that towards the end of this video, because it seems like it might be an arbitrary number, but it really isn't. For the format, it's going to be imperfection across the board. There's no specific way that I want you to be harnessed to these prompts. These prompts are going to be there as prompts. They're there to prompt you, not to chain you down to something or rule you into a small little box. I'd rather you focus on the things that are important to you. What are your passions? Let these prompts guide you to slowly start talking about these. I don't know what those are for you. And some of us, we may not know what those are either, and it takes us some time to figure that out. And speaking teases out these topics for us, these passions. So let the topics, let the prompts guide you towards that trajectory so that you slowly talk more and more about the things that actually matter to you. Public speaking is not something that we do for the sake of public speaking. It's a tool. And I want you to think about that when we're talking about the format of these. It doesn't matter how you do it. It can be a talking head response. It can be performance art driven. It can be a poem. Whatever feels most like you to respond to these prompts, I want you to engage in that, knowing that speaking isn't going to be a tool that'll help you convey this message to people in a way that you'll be able to find your future business partners. The better you're able to understand what it is that you want to do in life, the better you're able to speak on behalf of it, the better others are able to understand and see whether that same passion is theirs as well. When you can find other people that have a shared why, all of a sudden the kinds of things you can create together are impossible to do on your own. And speaking is just one tool. It's like a hammer. No one gets excited about a hammer. A hammer builds a house. Wonderful. But we don't focus and get hung up on, oh, I don't know how to use hammer. It's a tool just like Photoshop, just like speaking. Learn to use speaking as a tool. So in service to the above ethos, prompts are going to be delivered day of and never in advance. And the reason for that is to keep things unscripted. I don't want you knowing what's coming. I don't want you getting hung up on trying to nail an exact response. Even me, I've struggled with speaking for sure, but I got to the point where I got pretty comfortable with it until I started getting hung up on the actual script. I would write a wonderful thing that I would want to deliver. I'd get on stage for whatever reason, and I would have to nail exactly what it was that I had previously written. Even right now. Like right now, I've got a script. It's a blog article, but there is a tendency inside me to want to say exactly verbatim where the periods and the commas are and the original intent and the enunciations and the inflections that I had when I first wrote the blog article. That's nonsense. You can't do that. You can't remember that all. And it just becomes an exasperating exercise that just doesn't translate naturally. So rather than give you guys these prompts in advance, I want you to start feeling more comfortable with just reading something and just thinking off the cuff as it relates to who you are, why you think you are, and what passions you can tease out of those two questions in combination with the prompt of the day. Imperfection is definitely what we're going for. Logistics. There are going to be three main ones. There's going to be you and a partner. Then there's going to be the me logistics, Rennie. My name is Rennie, by the way. And then there's going to be all of our shared logistics. As it relates to you and a partner, you're going to be paired in advance for the entire duration of the ShhpeakUp. And each of you will comment on each other's videos every single day. The reason for pairing one-on-one is to make sure that everybody is guaranteed a chance to speak and everyone is guaranteed a chance to be heard. As it relates to me, I am going to be video replying to some of your videos every day. So we'll have a video prompt, you'll make a reply, and then I will reply to your reply with my questions about it. But not everybody will get that from me because obviously it's not possible. It's one of me. Another reason why we want to have a pair in advance. But others will also be able to reply to yours as well that are not your partners. So consider theirs and mine as just bonuses, but expect yours and your partners to be guaranteed. And if you focus on that every day, you'll get the most you can out of this exercise. Both of you will. And I would suggest that as much time as you put into your video prompt reply, give that same amount of time, if not more, to asking questions and commenting on your partner's video response. Now, I don't want to restrict that, as I was starting to say earlier. If you have more time, by all means, reply to as many other people as you have the opportunity to. This is going to accelerate growth in really big ways, and we'll get to that as we get closer to the topic of the why network. But the more you get to know about the people during the ShhpeakUp, the greater the chances that you will find somebody, if not several people, who share enough of your why, enough of your passion, that these folks could provide really good opportunities for future businesses. Again, you might find your future business partner here, and that is definitely an intention of mine behind these meetups. Library. I will have a video library of all my past 30-day prompt responses. Currently, there's only one set of those, but after we have our first ShhpeakUp, there'll be an additional 30 days of my replies in there. And I'm going to be replying to these. It's not just that I'm going to be putting these prompts out there for you to reply to. I want to be able to practice and improve on my craft as well. I provide my video library as an inspirational guide, as something that might help you tease out ways in which you might try to communicate, as a way to maybe alleviate some of the fear you might have when it comes to communicating. You'll see some of the dumb things that I say when I just go ahead and just let my mouth fly to just free my lips. A lot of it's not that intelligent. It's not like you have to be perfect or have the right answers. This exercise is just to get your mouth to start moving and to start connecting with your thoughts verbally a little bit more fluidly, regardless of how it turns out. So a little humor, maybe, and definitely some encouragement is what my video library is for. And to those who are okay with me including their responses as well, as you give me permission, I'll include yours as well. But just always know that mine are going to be guaranteed available for you throughout the year. So not just during this first ShhpeakUp, but every single time we have one, the library will grow. Respect. This one mostly boils down to asking more questions than making statements. For me, that's what respect is. And that's a very intense topic for me. I've stated before that you knew the answer long before the world happened to you. I discovered this through living and watching a lot of other people live through so much unnecessary tragedy in their lives because we let the world write our story instead of doing that ourselves. It's not that I'm against mentorship, counseling, life coaches, All that stuff is super important, and to the extent that you're able to do that, I'd encourage that for sure. But when it comes to our life stories, those are best written by us. And I think I've seen too many people let the world write those for them. Definitely me. And I'm on a mission to stop that. The reason for this is that as you're told something rather than asked questions, whether it's an assumption someone's making about you or they're making an accusation of your character, this can easily stunt growth and really just keep you from exploring and learning who you are. So that's why I focus so much on questions. And questions aren't easy. Just because you're asking a question, you're not coming up with an answer. I mean, don't discount how much harder that really can be. If you really invest the amount of time that it takes to think through really important questions for someone after having listened to their responses to things, it takes a lot of love and patience and introspection to come up with decent questions. We value answers way too much, and I think in this society what that does, besides stunting growth, is that it robs us of individuality and creativity. If all the answers are always available to you, you don't have to think this through. I mean, you go through life studying and being told that all the answers are available out there. Read this textbook, download this PDF, take this course, get the certificate, pass the test, whatever, but that cascades into the workplace too. Here's the documents, here's the knowledge base, here's the departments you got to know, here are all the people that have all this expertise, the subject matter experts are already out there. Whenever you need something, you go to this person. And it's like, wait a second, how about your own creativity? How about you just imagine what might be, come up with a lot of different variations before you then pare down to some possible answers. We don't do that as much as I think would be more helpful if we did. Answers are too often king in our economy, and creativity has suffered quite extensively because of that. ShhpeakUp is not a replacement for counseling. Okay, ShhpeakUp is an exercise in freeing your dreams, and we start by first freeing your lips and giving yourself permission to talk about things that maybe the world has asked you to be quiet about because they're not socially acceptable. Things involving your dreams tend to be risky, and over time we learn to be quiet about our dreams. That's what we're going to be doing here, freeing our lips to finally discuss these things again that we used to so easily talk about when we were kids. Your greatest life messages and your most effective ministry will come out of your deepest hurts. You heard me say that once before. That's not my quote. That's from The Purpose-Driven Life. And I do believe that's very true, and our purpose often is unveiled through pain. So to that extent, yes, we will be talking about pain. We will be leaning into pain enough to uncover some of the things that might actually be gems and helpful for us to use in not only our service to improving our lives, but the service of others, which actually makes our life improved when we finally see that our purpose, our pain, has helped other people. So we will be leaning into pain for that purpose alone. Selection means rejection also. You can't select something without rejecting something else. And I don't like rejection. I don't think anybody does. But I have to make sure that those of us that join this, especially early on, have the best chance for success. So I'm going to be going through applications and selecting those that give us the best chance to succeed. But it's based purely on capacity and compassion. Compassion first, even though I said it second, is because I understand the trap that is codependence. It's a lie and a trap. I'm well versed in it. I have used it to destroy countless relationships when I was younger. And so I'm very quick to spot it and stop it before it starts. So I need to be very careful that this does not devolve into something where there's codependency going on and harming the group. But another aspect of it is just the logistics behind it. This is the very first time that I'm offering this, and I want to make sure that we don't scale to the point where I can't offer you value. That's dumb. There are way too many companies out there competing for dumb, and I'm not interested in that. So to the extent that I can scale, that we can scale this on value, is how many folks I will be allowing in initially. Back to the story about the 1 hour speaking, because I said I was going to talk a little bit more about that towards the end here and give you a reason why that's important.